this is our 49th session of SAPNE, the South Asian Poets of New England. We formed in 2008, and it is the 25th year of our original India poetry that started in Harvard in 97. Now, what I am kind of convey is, in the first year, we had to bring people to recite. We'll find poems, give to them, and then ask them to read. They're reluctant, and somehow we had to bring some other people to the audience so that they feel respected, with the leaders. So that is how we operated. And I must thank Sajed, who is still here. He was not there for the first year, but he was he joined the following year. And Maya and Alok, who are not here today, Alok is sick, but they were in the beginning. And Jaspal and his wife, Hardeep, they came, they liked the idea. I don't know why they liked the idea, but they loved it. This multilingual thing that we're trying to bring together people, so they loved it. So they joined, and actually Jaspal helped organize for many years by inviting people, recruiting people. See, those days internet was not there, so we had to make phone calls. So then I think Chandu came in 2005. The reason I'm saying this, I was just reflecting on this. What is the 25th year mean? And Chandu came in, and Chandu came in through India efforts, and then he helped build this SAPNE, and then has been instrumental in maintaining this, made its infrastructure and bringing people and taking pictures and hosting a site, things of that nature. And lately he helps with an artist whom we are now subsidizing in small manner, but he helps it. Geeta Patel, so she showed up maybe 5-6 years ago, and she, I think, volunteered herself. Can she take notes? I loved it. And so she takes notes. She's a Kannada speaking person. And so after she writes, I polish it to make it a little more amenable to the world, because our audience is the larger audience. So, but she has been the backbone of the note taking. So if she asks a question to any of you, please do respond, because the note taking is a new thing we're doing. We're doing simply for the future. As immigrants, as we're living, we are creating history. And that history may be revisited 100 years, 300 years, we do not know when. But we have records that this is how people lived. And in those times, the languages may not exist, people may be different. But I think people would have a need to know, if they wish to know, that this is how these people settled in a foreign country. When I'm saying this, I am aware that the settlement in a foreign country was not a concept by anyone who lived the country. So we saw up, and then it took many years for people to think that they are actually living in a new country. And then the question of children come, and we don't know what their future is. But somehow there is a brilliant, sympathetic person, Catherine Galbraith. Her husband was the ambassador to India, during the Kennedy years, and she was very passionate about India. And I didn't ask why. She was older, much older, but she encouraged that, look, you have to keep the Indian culture alive. And that was a very different thing because Indian culture to be alive is a phrase which is not interpreted easily because we don't know what Indian culture is. Each of us will live our life differently, and we think this is how our culture is. So we don't see the symmetry, the harmony, the thread that takes through us because it's not needed to be seen. But as immigrants, um, there's a need, and there is a strong dichotomy of regionalism among immigrants, and that's not a harmony, that's not unity. And it do not know whether that can be eliminated, but we say that that has been seeded by the foreigners, but we do not know fully how it has developed. That is extreme pride in your local culture, your local language, your local customs is there. So what we thought among the children, it can't be there. So what is our message to the children? So anyways, a part of our the South Asian poetry operation is to also see that what we can convey to our children. We may not convey our language, but we may convey our thoughts. We may convey how we are different, how a person of Indian descent distinguishes himself or herself in the world. How does he really think? And the person who celebrated this, who actually brought me to my mind, was another American poet called Brother Blue. He was a Cambridge storyteller. He will wander around on the roads to sing and dress himself. And he thought he was an Indian bard, the old Indian people who spread culture through speaking. And he will come to me to learn stories. And I saw his passion. And then the whole idea of storytelling from Indian culture became somewhat a matter of interest personally to me. So all that makes me transit from my scientific background to develop some literary background. And I'm kind of thankful to you all that you are helpful in this very lonely, solitary journey. But you all, I assume you all enjoy it. People help us, support us in some manner. But I will encourage each of you to whichever way you support us, but support your community. That let language, art, expression flourish. Let children know their job is not to simply do a task, but to be able to think and express themselves. So that's what we have found India taught to the world, that expression is your own, expression is not taught. Individual comes with expression. So that brings us, I must also acknowledge Manish, he's not today here, his house, something broke in his house. So he is kind of taking care of the house systems, but he has been doing the videos for us. I see Amandip, who has done slides for us in our annual meetings. And I see Sanjeev. Sanjeev came in and helped with many different organizational matters. And I think all of you, and I would particularly say that as we are moving in our Indian discovery operations, please read the literature and language that is done by Prem Nagar, who is a part of this group, and who tries to see how the language literature has evolved over the years. So that brings us to our story today, which is Jagaran. Jagaran, and we said English translation awakening, and some people dearly reminded that awakening is looks like a verb, a noun from a verb, and Jagaran is not a noun from a verb. Jagaran is a concept. So Jagaran would be more like redemption or rejuvenation. But then the word re is there. In Jagaran, there is no re. It just happens. That ja is the birth, the arousal, the something happened to you. The seed is not seed anymore. The baby is not baby anymore. The girl is not girl anymore. Change has happened. She's a mother. The baby is a boy. The seed is a tree. So that has happened. That Jagaran is a very old Indian concept. And as a matter of fact, in the Indian concept, Jagaran happens every time we do anything, when our mind hits the task fully, fully, when we forget ourselves, when we don't exist, when we are carried by the task, fully immersed, do research, do work, do cooking, do singing, do dancing, whatever you do. So there is a laya comes in, and that laya is your Jagaran, will not come unless you have full concentration, full immersion, and then you transform yourself. You are not the same person anymore at that period. But then the question is it really continuous? Do you live with it? And that becomes philosophical. If you go to the Indian temples and so on, there is a whole evolution and destruction, dissolution every day. The universe starts, universe ends, and that's Jagaran. So it's kind of a more complex. With that, we have to kind of move on, and we have this. I think Jayant Bhai. I've invited him for the first reading. Jayant Bhai is an old friend. We started this whole children culture 35 more years ago to organize schools. And I did not know his poetry until 20 years later. And he made a beautiful presentation of a memory of his recollection of his mother in Harvard, and was a so poignant poetry. I want to hear that again from him sometime, but let me invite him to be our first guest to celebrate him, his experience, erudition, his passion, his use of language, and his dedication to literature. He has been a constant presence in almost all SAPNE meetings ever since he came in. I didn't know he's getting old, that old, but somehow. So let us celebrate. With all your permission, let us invite Jayant Dave. We call him Jayant Bhai Dave. So he will present the first one. And after he presents, we have Atindra. Atindra is still there, right? Atindra.
Yes, I
Atindra.
am there, sir. I am here only.
Atindra. So Atindra will follow. Atindra is a young Hindustani vocalist, trained vocalist. He's also faculty there in the IIT or some place like that there in Bombay. And he is besides being, he writes his own lyrics. So he's a poet singer. So he will follow um, Jayant Bhai. And the next we have scheduled, this is kind of a things which are pre-scheduled. There's a new poet today, Manorama Chaudhary. And she is also known to me a long time, but I knew her as a poet only last month. She has written a beautiful prayer on the Babali and the mother. So she will offer that. And then we will do our usual process. That is, as the poem ends, you just catch the theme and then you recite your poem, if possible, and in short or in some translation, you provide the gist or the theme of the poem, and then we continue. We continue till we end, and I think since we record this, I would like this to be your introduction would be by your name, cite your name clearly, and cite the title of your poem clearly, so that we can capture, that the Gitaji can capture, and then you can take one line that this is what my poem is. So then she can take notes. You can go more extensive afterwards and then recite and do your presentation. With all that, so let us do 49th session of South Asian Poets of New England. And why?
Yeah, thank you, Mishraji. And everybody, welcome. Nutan Varsha Vinandan, and Happy New Year to everybody. And we wish a great beginning to SAPNE in this coming year. Every time I talk to Mishraji about this word Jagran, I'm just getting deeper and deeper into the meaning and concept of that, because being in Gujarat and knowing Gujarati language, Jagran, we grew up with a different kind of a meaning as a Jagran. And then I came across a Gujarati poet, Prabodh Parikh, and he wrote the thing about Jagran and what is Jagran. He wrote a beautiful poem about few years, 7, 8 years back, I'm not sure. And then I came across another newspaper in, it's in, I would say, it's 2017 or something. It's one of the, I think, the largest circulation newspaper in Hindi, and it is called Daily Jagran. And that was very interesting, and it's still going on, and it's 17th in publication in the world. And the title was Daily Jagran. So then I said the Jagran, the meaning I've been knowing about Jagran is different, or it's deeper meaning than what it is. And what Jagran is, as I think, is realization or a state of suddenly being awake, or in closest to English is awake really does not justify, but it could be awake and realize. So what is Jagran in one's life? When somebody experiences a Jagran, is it a Buddha under a tree of enlightening, or it is Archimedes when he found and solved his problem, or suddenly we find a person we thought who he is not the same? Is it a Jagran, or is it something that suddenly changes from that moment onward? Could that be Jagran? So when I focus on the word Jagran, it looks like, or it feels like, I would compare with a diamond with many polished facets. So every time you send a beam of light to the diamond, each facet may reflect with a different color uh, of the light, even though light is the same. And so we have 25 poets, or maybe more, today. And each one, I believe, this word diamond or Jagaran, they will reflect in their own way. And I'm looking forward to that. Thank you. The,
You have a poem to read?
yes, I can. I have a very short poem.
Yeah, read it.
I wrote it, and this is not a new one. I had written it probably many years back. I just have to, I thought yes. And Jagran is it's the same thing as getting that realization, and sometimes, and this is when do we? There comes a moment that may be the last moment in our life. That is entering the new world, the other world, when we passing away, when we die, and that step into that. When we get into that, at that time we realize it, and we sometimes try to look back instead of looking forward. And that moment of truth, because our staying so many years on this earth, in our rear view mirror is as large as the front windshield of a car, and our front windshield has become just like as small as rear view mirror, because we have very few things to look forward to. So this is about, and I wrote it in Hindi. First time, usually I write it in Gujarati most of the time. So I will recite that, and it was also, uh, it has a tune also, so maybe I'll just sing one stanza only, not for the whole thing. So महफिल से मायूसी को लेकर चले हैं हम, महफिल से मायूसी को लेकर चले हैं हम, मस्तियां उनमें छाई पर छू सके न हम, महफिल से मायूसी को लेकर चले हैं. We had a lot of opportunities. Now I'm look back, I lost all of those. महफिल से मायूसी को लेकर चले हैं हम, मस्तियां इनमें छाई पर छू सके न हम. अपना जिसे कहा था वो गैर से बने हैं, अपना जिसे कहा था वो गैर से बने हैं, गैरों ने हमसे पूछा किसके करीब हो तुम. वो ताना देते हैं कि now you tell me who is close to you. And then last thing happens by the time we cross that line and we are on other side. So किसी ने दिल से छोड़ा, किसी ने ठेस लगाई, पर बादलों से किसी ने आकर आगोश में हमें बिठाया, महफिल से मायूसी को लेकर चले हैं. Yeah, that's a whole poem. And I'll just show you just a tune if you have time. Yeah. महफिल से मायूसी को लेकर चले हैं हम, मस्तियां इसमें छाई पर छू सके न हम, महफिल से मायूसी को लेकर चले हैं हम. Thank you.
Very nice. Okay, Dr. Sarvadikar.
Namaste.
Yes, go ahead.
Uh, I'm presenting my poem, which is composed in the form of a bandish, which is uh, composed in Raga Charukeshi. The words are Jagamag Jagamag Deep Jale और तेज बहे प्रेम की बाती ज्ञान का दीवट प्रेम की बाती ज्ञान का दीवट प्राणन में ज्योति उजले सतगुरु संगत जो तू धरे जगमग जगमग deep jale. I have tried to combine Deepavali festival and our theme awakening both together. So I'm trying to present this in short. This is a short presentation in Rag Charukeshi. जगमग जगमग दीप जले जगमग जगमग दीप जले दीप जले और तेज बहे दीप जले और तेज बहे जगमग जगमग दीप जले जगमग प्रेम की बाती ज्ञान का दीवट प्रेम की बाती ज्ञान का दीवट प्राणन में ज्योति उजले प्राणन में ज्योति उजले सतगुरु संगत जो तु धरे जगमग जगमग दीप जले जगमग जले जले दीप जले दीप जले जगमग जगमग दीप जले प्रेम की बाती आ प्रेम की बाती ज्ञान का दीवट प्राणन में ज्योति उजले प्राणन में ज्योति उजले सतगुरु संगत जो तु धरे जगमग जगमग दीप जले जगमग जगमग दीप मग मगरे सारे गम गम गरे सारे गम पम पम गरे सारे गम रे गम पदनि द पम गम पदनि द नि द पम गम पदनि द पम ग पम गरे सारे गरे गम पदनि द नि द जगमग जगमग दीप जले जगमग दीप जले जगमग तेरे ना देरे ना तन रे ना देरे ना देरे ना तन देरे ना तेरे ना दाने 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 तदाने तेरे ना देरे ना तन देरे ना देरे ना देरे ना ओ दानी दानी दारे 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 दानी ओ दानी दानी दारे 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 दानी मग 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 नि दानी दानी रे दारे दारे दानी दा दा प प मग रे ना दे रे ना तन रे ना दे रे ना आ देरे ना देरे ना देरे ना देरे ना ओ दानी दानी दारे 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 दानी ओ दानी दानी दारे 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 दानी मग 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 नि दानी दानी दा रे दारे दारे दा नि दा प दा प म प म तेरे ना देरे ना तन देरे ना तेरे ना देरे ना देरे ना रे द
All right, good.
Beautiful.
So we call it this session in principle called Voice of the People. So you heard another voice of the people, peaceful people. Now I must recognize that Nina Wahi. Nina has been a constant helper to us. Actually, she's instrumental in the folk festivals that we did in the summer. She and Prithpal, they managed it. She has moved to Hawaii, and I don't know what time is. It's 4 o'clock or something. That's her time. And we recognize Nina ji for joining us early in the morning in Hawaii, because when we do this, we don't know who joins where and so on. But this is worldwide now. So anyway, uh, so Manu goes now.
Yeah, Manorama Chaudhary.
Thank you, Chandubai. Namaskar and a very good morning or good evening to all of you. Happy Diwali. During these trying times, I hope you all enjoyed the festive spirit. I live in Southborough, Mass in Northeast America. This is my first time ever participating in any platform, and I thank Dr. Vijay Mishra for inviting me to this elite group of poets and encouraging me to participate. For today's topic, Jagaran, I have prepared a Devi Stuti which I wrote during Dasera. It is in my mother tongue, Oriya. After the two beautiful renditions, I must give this disclaimer that I'm not a trained singer and do not know any nuances of music, but I am going to express my bhav in singing. So please bear with me. Before that, let me just read a simple translation of my prayer so that you all can follow it. In my Devi Stuti, I'm chanting Divine Mother's different names in which form she has appeared. In this Stuti, there are about 51 names out of her 108 tantric names. Then I'm requesting, oh Mother, please keep coming to this earth in different forms to destroy the evil spirit or the demon within us. Whatever bad qualities are within me, I beg you, please do destroy them. I will keep chanting your names deep within my heart. Please keep me under your umbrella blessings. While praying at your lotus feet, all I'm asking for is your forgiveness. Nothing on this earth is mine that I can offer you. This body and the soul belong to you. All I'm offering is my ego, my attachments to the word I, and I plead you to please accept my Shraddha and Bhakti. Now, with all of your permission, let me sing it. Ma Sharade Katyayani Jagata Janani Mahakali Tusivani Durgati Nasini Rama Uma Shama Devi Tuhi Annapurna Nabhunji Patra Parvati Namato Purna Shambhavi Vaishnavi Mago Bhavini Bhavani Bhadra Kali Kapalini Abhayadaini Kaishori Kaumari Gauri Brahmi Narayani Matangi Ma Vishnu Maya Trisuladharini Trinetra Bhairavi Devi Masinghavahini Saila Putri Siddhidatri Tu Brahma Badini Adya Vidya Mago Sati He Parameswari Jayanti Mangala Kali Jagata Iswari Kala Ratri Mohodari Birajabamika Varahi Varuni Nitya Jaya Mambika Juge Juge Asuthi Bue Dhara Dhamaku Kete Rupa Bahi Mago Bidari Asuri Rakshasita Masi Maya Khaya Jau Mora Khyama Bhikya Mage Mago Bande To Payara Japu Thibi To Namo Ma Bohruda Kandari Krupa Drusti Rakhi Thibu Sada Mo Upari Ki Dei Pujibi Kaha Ki Bachi Mora E Jibo Jibana Atma Sabuta Tohara Dhale Mumu Kara Mora Purna Ahuti Re Dhale Mumu Kara Mora Purna Ahuti Re Dhenu Thibu श्रद्धा मोर एहियाळी करी घेनु थिब श्रद्धा मोर एहियाळी करी. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, we have Ambuja Salgaonkar. She wants to go next. You ready? Dr. Salgaonkar.
Hello, I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Namaste, happy Diwali. Thank you for organizing such a wonderful event and for giving me an opportunity to join you. Word awakening has its strongest association in my mind with Gurudev's famous poem, that is Mind Without Fear. Today in this gathering, first I will present my Sanskrit translation of the same, followed by it my Marathi translation of the same poem will be recited by my music teacher, Dr. Anjali Nigvekar. It will take only maximum 6 minutes altogether. In the want of the bandwidth, I will prefer to keep myself mute on video and audio will be unmute. Thank you. Let me start.
यत्र यत् स्वच्छं सत्यं तेषामेव पूजा सर्वेषामुन्नताः प्रतिमाः यत्र कोऽपि कमपि न वेन पीडितः अबान्धवार्यां कृते किञ्चिदपि स्थानं न एकस्य पक्षस्य हस्ते सत्तायाः केन्द्रीकरणं न विद्या एवं ज्ञानं मुक्तमेव कार्यस्य उचितं मूल्यं तथा जनाः सततं कार्यरताः अनुचितविचारप्रवेशाय किञ्चिदपि सन्धिः न योग्यस्य सम्मानं सदा शब्दवचनं तथा तस्य कारणमपि स्पष्टं तर्काधिष्ठितमेव च नूतनपरम्परायाः अङ्गीकरणम् अनुपयुक्तविचाराणां निर्मूलनम् इति संस्कृतिः श्रुतिः स्मृतिः तथा तीक्ष्णा बुद्धिः याः मम देशस्य परिचायकाः काले हि तेषां सर्वेभ्यः जनेभ्यः पुरतः प्रकटीकरणं स्वाभाविकमेव इदं मम स्वतन्त्रभारते नाम स्वप्नं यत्र मम देशः जागृतः तत्र मम देशः जागृतः
जेठ सारे सत्य स्वच्छ जेठ सारे सत्य स्वच्छ ताठ कणान उंच मान ताठ कणान उंच मान भीती नकुळा उगास स्पर्शिते भीती नकुळा उगास स्पर्शिते घर भेदीचे नाही ठाण नाही ठाण नाही ठाण येथ सारे सत्य स्वच्छ जेठ सारे जेठ सारे जेठ सारे मक्तेदारी नाही कुणाची मक्तेदारी
सदा अचूकतेला मिळेल मान जेथ सारे सत्य स्वच्छ जेथ सारे शब्द स्पष्ट स्पष्ट कारण शब्द स्वच्छ स्पष्ट कारण नव परंपराचा सन्मान नव परंपराचा सन्मान बुरसट विचार कोवैराण बुरसट विचार कोवैराण तर्क शुद्ध तेचे प्रमाण तर्क शुद्ध तेचे प्रमाण जेथ सारे सत्य स्वच्छ जेथ सारे श्रुती स्मृती सह मतिवर्धित हो श्रुती स्मृती सह मतिवर्धित हो कृती तुम्ही प्रकटो कृती तुम्ही प्रकटो आ स्वतंत्र भारती स्वर्गामध्ये स्वतंत्र भारती स्वर्गामध्ये माझ्या देशा यावे भान माझ्या देशा यावे भान यावे भान जेथ सारे सत्य स्वच्छ जेथ सारे सत्य स्वच्छ ताठ कणा उंच मान भीती नकुळा उगास स्पर्शिते घर भेदीचे नाही ठाण नाही ठाण नाही ठाण जेथ सारे सत्य स्वच्छ जेथ सारे जेथ सारे जेथ सारे.
Very nice. Wow.
Anjali Vidwekar is head of the Department of Music in Shivaji University, and myself and Atindra, we are in Mumbai University. Thanks.
Wow. Okay, Dr. Dinesh Shah, do you want to go? Unmute
Okay.
yourself, please.
Now you can hear me and see me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you for invitation to participate. And with the theme of awakening, I had written a poem, which is not just awakening of human being, but awakening of God. And so the poet says to the God that there is too much darkness and please remove it. And he then asks several questions in the poem. Wow. And first I will recite in Gujarati, and then at each pankti or each stanza I will translate in English. Hari છે જગમાં બધે અંધાર, તું એને માનજ તારી હાર. Hari છે જગમાં બધે અંધાર. Because there is too much darkness, and God, you may as well accept that this is your defeat. સૌ કહે ઝીલતો દુનિયાનો ભાર તો કાન ઉપાડે મારો ભાર. Everybody says that you are carrying the burden of the whole world, then how come you are not lifting up my burden? Then tu rakhu akha jagni sambhal to bandh kare shane mandir dwar. You are taking care of the whole world, so how come at night you are closing your doors of the temple? જો તે ઘડ્યા આ તારા મંડળ તો શાને કર્યા ન દીવા ઘરની અંદર. That if you made these millions of stars that we see in the sky, then how come you did not make one lamp in everybody's home? And then last line it says, सीधे सीधू तू समझाओ के कौन उपाड़े तारो भार. Please directly in simple language explain to me that who is carrying your burden. And that's how the poem ends. And this poem was sung professionally by one of the very known singer in Gujarat. And I'll just sing one line, or I'll put it on this that you all can listen to it. Huh? Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And Happy New Year to all of you. Okay.
Thank you, Dinesh bhai. Okay, next we have Amit Khare. Are you ready, Amit?
जी thank you
Amit,
चंदू भाई.
Yeah.
Namaskar everyone. Happy Diwali. This poem was written just to answer one simple generic thought that you cannot do anything alone. And then it concludes like, yes, someone can take a stand and can create awareness. So I'll start. The title of the poem is क्यों ना जागृति मैं लाऊं. क्यों ना जागृति मैं लाऊं, मैं दुनिया की जरूरत हूं. तारे लाखों नील गगन में, मैं ही अकेला सूरज हूं. क्यों ना जागृति मैं लाऊं, मैं दुनिया की जरूरत हूं. तारे लाखों नील गगन में, मैं ही अकेला सूरज हूं. आप कहोगे दिवस ढले, सूरज भी ढल जाता. आप कहोगे दिवस ढले, सूरज भी ढल जाता. मैं कहता जब ढलता सूरज तब मैं चंदा बन जाता. आप कहोगे जब रात अमावस की आती तब भी रास्ता मैं दिखलाता. जब ना सूरज ना चंदा हो तब ध्रुव तारा मैं बन जाता. आप कहोगे वर्षा काल में बादल तारों को ढक लेते. आप कहोगे वर्षा काल में बादल तारों को ढक लेते. मैं कहता मेरे कारण ही वे अमृत सा जल देते। झूठे जो कहें क्यों मैं भी कहूं, झूठे जो करें क्यों मैं भी करूं, मैं ईश्वर पथ का राही हूं। मैं एक सच की चिंगारी 100 झूठों पर भारी हूं। मैं एक सच की चिंगारी 100 झूठों पर भारी हूं। क्यों ना जागृति मैं लाऊं, मैं उषा की पुरवाई हूं। क्यों ना जागृति मैं लाऊं, मैं उषा की पुरवाई हूं। अंधियारा जो दूर करे उन किरणों की अंगड़ाई हूं। प्रारंभ अकेले ही करना है, प्रारंभ अकेले ही करना है। साथी तो मिल जाएंगे, जहां पड़ेंगे पग अपने, पथ वहीं से बनते जाएंगे। राहों पर चलते हैं सभी, कुछ लोग ही राह बनाते हैं। पीछे चलना सबको आता, कुछ लोग ही आगे आते हैं। दीपक की तरह जलते हैं जो, वे ही उजियारा लाते हैं। खुद जल जाते हैं लेकिन इतिहास नया लिख जाते हैं। अगर चाह है सुख की तो दुख से तो लड़ना ही होगा। अगर चाह है सुख की तो दुख से तो लड़ना ही होगा। अगर चाह परिणाम की है प्रारंभ तो करना ही होगा। अगर चाह परिणाम की है प्रारंभ तो करना ही होगा। उद्गम जिसका पतली धारा, वह नदियां भी बहती जाती। उद्गम जिसका पतली धारा, वह नदियां भी बहती जाती। बाधाएं कितनी पार करे तब ही सिंधु से मिल पाती। जो उड़ने का करता प्रयास, वह पंछी ही उड़ पाता है। जो उड़ने का करता प्रयास, वह पंछी ही उड़ पाता है। गिर गिर कर जो उठता है, गिर गिर कर जो उठता है, वो ही फिर चल पाता है। क्यों मैं औरों की भांति निज कर्तव्यों से मुख मोड़ूं। क्यों मैं औरों की भांति निज कर्तव्यों से मुख मोड़ूं। कलयुग की इस परिधि में अब भी सच का अस्तित्व निहित है। क्यों ना जागृति मैं लाऊं, मैं एक कलकल प्रपात हूं। क्यों ना जागृति मैं लाऊं, मैं एक कलकल प्रपात हूं। जो रजनी को हर लेता उस दिनकर का प्रताप हूं। जो रजनी को हर लेता उस दिनकर का प्रताप हूं। धन्यवाद।
Wow, wow, very nice.
Very good, Amit. Very
थैंक
good.
यू,
Very.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर।
So I have a raised hand, Dr. R. Balachandra, sir.
Thank you very much, and happy Diwali to everyone. My poem is not in the same lines as before as all the previous poets. It's bringing down to earth a little bit, so I hope it'll be all right. The title of my poem is American Awakening. Were we all in a stupor, passively accepting every lie, every dastardly act, police brutality and racial goading, demonstrations all over, bloodshed of innocent bystanders, losing respect among the committee of nations? We were confused like a deer caught in the headlights. We were silent like the lamb to the slaughterhouse. We were apathetic as the one percenters ignored the inequality of the poor and voiceless. Shut our eyes to the hatred of the racists and neo Nazis. Watch the nation grow divided. The pandemic roared and claimed more lives than any other country. We threw our hands up at the confusion all around. Conflicting directions, shortages of medical supplies, unemployment, and evictions. We saw tragedies in many families with no end in sight. Utter lack of sympathy from the top. Chaos, self promotion, and an autocratic approach made us the laughing stock of the world. Enough is enough. Ravana's time has come. Let's wake up and rid the nation of the despotic, unsympathetic, lying, selfish, boorish oaf, and hope the avatar restores sanity and peace. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. So I have two requests that want to go next. One would be Arun Chaudhary. Are you ready? And then we'll have Chanchalaji after that. Arunji.
जी नमस्ते नमस्ते thank you Chandu ji Bijoy ji for organizing and everyone else. So I was listening to Amit ji's poem and it was really all about just like a lamp and how it burns. And Balchandra ji, thank you for, again, it's on the same line, negativity and all that. So I'll present my poem. First I will explain in English. So it is it's about the uh, lighting the lamp within first before we can do something. And it's about the awakening theme of Jagrati. So keep on defeating and removing the darkness, negativity from our mind. Continue to illuminate inner light and wisdom. May our conduct become noble. Continue on to wash the dirty stains from our mind. Don't let life become an abode of negativity, malice, and misery. Erase the ignorance from our mind. Keep learning and practicing. Listen to and be aware of the beating of your heart. So that is an essence of the poem. So I'm going to recite this poem in Hindi and then just sing just the first verse because of the timing. मन का अंधियारा हराए जा हटाए जा, निज जीवन की ज्योत जलाए जा जगाए जा, निज जीवन की ज्योत जलाए जा जगाए जा, चरित शिलवान बने मैले दाग धोना, अंतर काया काली कोठी न बनाना, मिटेगा तम मन का नित दीप जलाना, हृदय के स्पंद को सुने जा समझे जा, निज जीवन की ज्योत जलाए जा जगाए जा, जिसमें पानी नहीं वह नहीं है दरिया, जो नहीं सरकती वो नहीं है सरिता, है जो मन निर्मल वही है मानवता, महापुरुषों की वाणी को याद किए जा, निज जीवन की ज्योत जलाए जा जगाए जा, क्या करने आए हैं जरा समझ लेना, न होगा पछतावा न होगा आना जाना, सब कुछ अनिश्चित है निश्चित है जाना, सुख का सुमिरन कर तू फेरे कटाए जा, निज जीवन की ज्योत जलाए जा जगाए जा, आत्म ज्योत है हम है जीवन धारा, सुख स्वभाव है हम है भीतर सवेरा, मन को जगाए रख न होगा अंधियारा, हो मंगल सबका तू सेवा गाए जा, निज जीवन की ज्योत जलाए जा जगाए जा। मन का अंधियारा हराए जा हटाए जा, निज जीवन की ज्योत जलाए जा जगाए जा, मन का अंधियारा हराए जा हटाए जा, चरित शीलवान बने मैले दाग धोना, अंतर काया काली कोठी न बनाना, मीटेगा तम मन का मीटेगा तम मन का नित दीप जलाना, हृदय के स्पंद को सुने जा समझे जा, मन का अंधियारा हराए जा हटाए जा, निज जीवन की ज्योत जलाए जा जगाए जा, मन का अंधियारा हराए जा
Wow, 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 wow. Chanchalaji. As sir, just one second. As sir said in the beginning, when you start, please introduce yourself all over again, even if I say your name. And there are two login here, which I don't see the names. One login says 14012, and then there was another one that said iPad. So if you can rename yourself, if not, text me here and I'll rename yourself. And anybody who is ready to go or feel right to follow that poem, just put it in the text or chat. I'm monitoring the chat. Okay, Chanchalaji.
Namaste. I'm Chanchla Srivastava and I live in Acton. I am an educator. I'm a high school teacher and have taught at college. And poetry is my passion. I like to write in Hindi and English. I also translate from English to Hindi, Hindi to English. So this poem that I have chosen today is originally written in English by Heather Corabelli Bryant, who is a professor of poetry at a local university. And this poem was written and recited. I heard this poem in one of the poetry recitation at the local event. And I chose this to translate. So I will read my Hindi translation first and then the original English poem. So poem is, again, it's the theme is awakening. So you will see the theme is followed here. I will read Hindi translation first. It is here. जापानी मेपल वृक्ष की छाया में अयन काल, जापानी मेपल वृक्ष की सतरी हुई मखमली पत्तियों की गरिमामय छाया में आज चरम गर्मी की दोपहर में एक सुखदायक एहसास, अपने अस्तित्व का एहसास। तल पट्टियों पर यह लिखा है, ब्लैक लाइव्स मैटर, धीरे चलो यहाँ टर्टल क्रॉसिंग है, धीरे यहाँ बच्चे खेल रहे हैं, हम जहां से रोज गुजरते हैं, सभी कुछ हमारे जीवन से ही मलिन और अभिशापित, हम एक पूरा जीवन व्यतीत कर सकते हैं इसे ठीक करने में। मखमली हरी पत्तियों की धूमिल छाया मेरे सफेद वजूद पर है, साथ में फार्म स्टैंड पर सब्जी भाजियां, स्ट्रॉबेरी, केल और लहसुन की फलियां। हम टूटी हुई शाखों को कहाँ लगाएं और कटी हुई टहनियों को? अब नई शुरुआत करें यहाँ अपनी जड़ों को पहचानने की। यद्यपि हम सब कुछ गोलीबारी, झूठ, हिंसा को कभी भरपाई नहीं कर सकते, किंतु अपनी इच्छा शक्ति की छाया में कर्म और आशा के पंखों पर होकर सवार हम सीख सकते हैं एक इस नई शुरुआत से गरिमा को सांसों में भरते हुए अपने होने और उसे प्राप्त करने के लिए हम फिर से शुरुआत कर सकते हैं जहां हम हैं आज। And now I will read the original English poem. Sitting out the solstice under the Japanese maple tree, sitting beneath green feathered leaves with their cutout shapes, underneath a canopy of grace, a cooling welcome, today when it's 90 degrees in the shade. The experience of being, the sign out front says, Black Lives Matter, today, now, always. Besides slow turtle crossing, slow children playing, the places we drive by, both haunted and tainted by our lives, we could spend a lifetime redoing everything. Feathered green leaves casting dappled shadow on my bare white legs, sitting beside the farm stand selling garlic escapes, strawberry and kale. Where do we plant our shoots and cuttings? It is the beginning of grace to retrace our roots, though we can never recoup the shootings, the lies, the violence, Beneath their canopy of desire, flying on the wings of hope and deed, we can learn from this new beginning. Breathing the grace of longing and belonging, we can only start again from where we are just now. Thank you.
Very nice. Next, Sajjad Kamal sir is next, and then Pritpal will go, and then Sanjeev. Unmute yourself, sir. Unmute yourself first. Okay, good.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Sajjad Kamal, and I also want to thank everyone for being here. It's always a pleasure and an honor, and my heartfelt congratulations for those who are participating in it. And it's a journey, and we are all marching together. The name of my poem is Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. I think that much that has happened over the last 4 years or so has brought a lot of surprises, even shocks to some people, and I think for understandable reason. So this is a poem, my poem in response to that, and there are two lines I've quoted here, which also explains a little bit about the poem, and I'll just quote them first. First is by Pearl Buck. I know his name, know her name. If you want to understand today, you have to search yesterday. And the second one is by Carl Sagan. You have to know the past to understand the present. The poem is Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Supremacists, invaders, colonizers, civilizers, slave traders, slave owners, Nazis, the KKK, fascists, weapon traders, war hawks, hate mongers, sexists, anti-immigrants, racists. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what do you see? Who do you see? Peace, truth, justice, history, courage, love, unity, diversity, equality. One earth, one humanity, shining radiantly under the 7 colors of the rainbow. All in one face, all in one mirror, the face of you and face of me. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what do you see? Who do you see? Who am I? Who might I be awakened to be? Who do I want to be? Who do I have the courage to be? Thank you.
Very nice. Pritpalji, you want to follow that?
Hanji, namaskar ji, namaskar and copy to all. My name is Pritpal Singh, and due to Corona, I stayed at home, and it was also awakening. बहुत कुछ नई चीजें सीखने को मिली और बहुत सी चीजें ने तो मेरी आंखें खोल दी. क्या क्या पता चला जी कि दूर से नमस्ते करना है, दूर से ही नमस्ते करना है, हाथ नहीं मिलाना है. गले मिलने और गले पड़ने का अब रिवाज पुराना है, हाथ नहीं मिलाना है. और वो जो कभी खुशी कभी गम के बहाने, वो जो कभी खुशी कभी गम के बहाने पड़ोसन को गले लगा लेते थे, वैसा किए हुए भी अब बीत गया जमाना है, हाथ नहीं मिलाना है. और दोस्त और दुश्मन दोनों को ही बराबर समझना है, दोस्त और दुश्मन दोनों को ही बराबर समझना है, दोनों के ही पास नहीं जाना है, हाथ नहीं मिलाना है. और क्या क्या आ गया जी घर बैठे बैठे कि अपना हेयर कट खुद करना आ गया, अपना हेयर कट खुद करना आ गया. और ये भी आ गया कि खाना कैसे बनाना है, और टीवी पे रामायण देखकर, टीवी वालों ने रामायण दोबारा शुरू कर दी रीटेलीकास्ट, तो टीवी पे रामायण देखकर कुंभकर्ण को फॉलो करना है। सोना है, जागना है, खाना है, फिर सो जाना है। और जब से कोरोना आया मैं काम पर नहीं गया। जब से कोरोना आया मैं काम पर नहीं गया। पत्नी रोज कहती है इस बीमारी ने पता नहीं कब जाना है। अब मुझे लगता है बीमारी वो मुझको कहती है। वो सिर्फ इतना ही कहती है बीमारी ने पता नहीं कब जाना है। मुझे ये समझ नहीं लगती कि मुझको कहती है कि कोरोना को कहती है। लगता है बीमारी वो मुझको कहती है, कोरोना तो बस एक बहाना है, हाथ नहीं मिलाना है। और अमनदीप सिंह जी आपके लिए ये 2-3 लाइनें जी, कि अब तो यह भी पता चल गया कि झाड़ू लगाते हुए आगे को जाना है और पोछा लगाते लगाते पीछे को आना है। लेकिन सबसे मुश्किल काम बिना काम के समय बिताना है। बिना काम के समय बिताना है, हाथ नहीं मिलाना है, हाथ नहीं मिलाना है। थैंक यू जी।
Beautiful.
Wow, wow.
Wow.
Sanjeev Tripathi.
Yes. Uh, Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever everyone is. So, first of all, it's great opportunity to have, like, in this pandemic time, event like this. So connect with the people with the whole world. And I'm going to recite one of the poem which I wrote recently on the Diwali event, which we celebrated just recently with the State House, Massachusetts State House. So basically, awakening, like, there are, as other poets, they mention, like, there are so many dimensions of awakening. And I consider, like, Diwali or every festival, every year we celebrate, it's basically remind us to awakening ourselves. Just think a little bit, whatever, like, we forget, just, like, we should reconnect. We should, Diwali is like a 5-day festival, and the very first day is focused on just, like, on health. Okay, and the second day is, like, on like, mental health, financial wealth or health, and then environmental health, and then relation. The Bhai Dooj is a relational health. So it's kind of like awakening, checking, like, where we stand. If we need to just, like, adjust ourselves, then I think this is the great opportunity for all those festivals. So let me recite my short poem, and which I wrote in English this time. Diwali is a festival of joy, cheer, and light. Lamps all around brighten up every side. Array of colors and sweets of delight, pulse of glitter in this autumn night. Happiness is in the air with harmony and care. It's festival season and spirit is everywhere. Whatever we have, it's time to share. Helping others is very nice and fair. Last stanza. May Lord Ganesha show us path of right, bless with wisdom and insight. World win over this pandemic with all its might. May Goddess Lakshmi bless us to have mankind's future bright. Wish you all very, very happy Diwali. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Okay, Sir Bijoyji.
Yeah, I'll go. Actually, I wanted to, I think I respect what Sajid said, And this poem has something to do with that sentiment. Written many years ago, I was helping a black school in Boston, and there's a boy. Naturally, I was new to the neighborhood 10 years ago, and then he would be standing there. The school starts 8, so I go early, and then he will be standing there. There's the electric pole, telephone pole. He'll be standing there. And you notice him, you said, okay. But every day he will stand there. And I could not ask him. In the local culture, you don't really intrude people's thoughts. I didn't ask him. But this is the story of that boy that I met in 2010. And I think I read it in one of the SAPNE readings. I have a translation. It may be a little long and so on. Let us see how it goes. The name of the poem I did first in my language, Odia. Onama Balako, a nameless boy. Onama Balako Muhi, Ogonare Gona, Oghora, Niratmio, Osango, Sabuti Osuna, Sathi Moro Rasta, Peto Jorimana, Desara Bhavishya Muhi, Desa Kohe Batabona. Maybe I'll read the English translation together so that you can follow it. A nameless boy I am, no one counts. Homeless, friendless, no one cares. I live on the road, I steal for food. I'm told I'm the future. Some think I'm a piece of wood. Bato kahi ba batoi. Ma achi kasu thai. Bapo ko dekhi nahi. Osaga bhaitiye, premika jubati. Andhara na aluo, bhabi pare nahi. Where is the road? Who is the traveler? My mother cops at home. I never saw my father. A stepbrother I have, and he has a romantic partner. A boon or a curse? Does it really matter? Sunichi mu Afrika ବଂଶଧର, ବଳୁଆ ସେ ଜାତି, ବନସ୍ତ ପାହାଡ଼ ନଈ, ପଶୁପକ୍ଷୀ ଗତି, ସ୍ୱାଧୀନ ପ୍ରକୃତି, ଉଛୁଳା ସଂସ୍କୃତି, ଜାତି ଗଢ଼ିଥିଲା ଚାଷ, କୃଷି ଆଦି ନୀତି. I have heard that my ancestors came from a strong African race. They lived free in jungles. They had a name and a face. Independent thoughts, relaxed in the nature. They discovered tools, rules, and agriculture. ଇଏ ସେ ବଣିକ ଜାଲରେ ମଣିଷକୁ ପଟୁଆରା କରେ, ପଣ୍ୟ କରି ମଣିଷକୁ ବଜାରରେ ନିଲାମ ସେ କରେ. ଆଉ କି ହତଭାଗା ମଣିଷ ସିଏ, ବଞ୍ଚିବାରେ ହିଁ ତାର ଭ୍ରମ. ଅବା ମଣିଷ ପଣିଆ, ମରଣଟା କୃତ୍ରିମ. And who is that raider who makes a cargo of human beings, who auctions people causing human sufferings? And who is that man who forgot that he was alive? Did he think if life was trivial? Was there no dignity to live? Orna lagi hahakar, jale onna chinta, bora jale sano jalo, Allah Jishu nistara jibona. ମଣିଷର ଭାଗ୍ୟ କୁଟା କ୍ଷିୟ ତାର, କାହିଁ ରାମ କି ଆଦେଶ ତାର. ସାଥୀ ଏଠି ହତିଆର, ଆଖି ଲୁହ ହିଁ ଜୀବନ ଇନ୍ଧନ. I came through the shackles and the nets, from men loaded at goods, nets inside nets, muffled scriptures, no peace of the woods. Human luck is trivial, breaks down easy. And who creates luck? Only weapons win here. People have tears, and some others duck. ମୋ ବାପାର ଜେଜେ ଭାଗିଥିଲା ଜାଲ କଣା କରି 3 ବର୍ଷ ବୁଲିଲା ସେ ପୋକ ମାଛି ପରି ମା ଘର ବନ୍ଧୁବର୍ଗ ଏବେ ବି ଅଛନ୍ତି ତାଟି ମାଟି କବାଟରେ ଗାଈ ଜଗିଥାନ୍ତି My father's grandfather escaped, making a hole in the net, wandered lonely for years, like a fly, feeding as an insect. And my mother's family is still around. They tend to cows in their mud house, in that low ground. Rongin duniyare ଗାଈ ହିଁ ମାଲିକ ଗାଈ ହେପାଜତେ ବଣା ସମସ୍ତ ଶ୍ରମିକ ଟେଲିଫୋନ ଖୁଣ୍ଟି ତଳୁ ଦେଖୁଛି ସୂରୁଜ ନାଲି ଥିଲା ହଳଦିମା ଘାରି ପୁଣି ତୋଫା ଛଲକୁଛି I stand here at the telephone pole looking at the sun it was red became yellow now shining it's on the run Sabu oh I missed a line uh, in this new world cow is the master all are busy in tending to the bovine nature I stand here at telephone pole looking at the sun it was red became yellow now shining it's on the run ସବୁ ସୃଷ୍ଟିର ଧାତା ସିଏ ବିଜ୍ଞାନ କହେ ସେଇ ମୋର ପିତା ବାଟବଣା ବାଟୋଇ ପାଇଁ ସେ ଏକମାତ୍ର ରାସ୍ତା ବିଜ୍ଞାନୀ ହେବି ମୁହିଁ ତଥ୍ୟ ସନ୍ଧାନୀ ବି ଆଫ୍ରିକାରୁ ସୂରୁଜ ଦେଖିବି ଗଛ ଲତା ପାଣି ପବନ ଆଲୁଅ ରୋଗ କାଶର କାରଣ ବୁଝିବି I'll be a scientist I'll study the sun I'll find out more about air water and fire I'll be running I need a friend ସଙ୍ଗୀତିଏ ଲୋଡ଼ା ମୋର ସଙ୍ଗୀ ମୋର ସାହା ମୋ କଥାର ଭରସା ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ସଙ୍ଗୀ ମୋର ମାତୃ ଆଶୀର୍ବାଦ ବିଦ୍ୟା ମୋର ଆଶା I need a friend who trusts me the sun is my friend my mother's blessings are with me in this ବିପୁଳେ ପୃଥ୍ୱୀ କଳେ ନଗଣ୍ୟ ମୁହିଁ ନାହିଁ ମୋର ଭେକ ହିଂସା ପ୍ରତିହିଂସା ତକରାଳେ ବଡ଼ ସାନ ଦୁନିଆରେ ଖାଲି ଅଛି ଭୋକ In this vast world, I have no signature. In this world of violence and revenge, I die of hunger. ଭୋକର ଖୋରାକି ବିଦ୍ୟା ମନ ଅଛି ମୋର ଟେକ ଆଫ୍ରିକାର ଜଙ୍ଗଲରୁ ଦୀପ୍ତ ମୁହିଁ ସମାଜ ସଂଗ୍ରାମରେ ମୁକ୍ତ ମୁହିଁ ଦେଖୁଛି ମୁଁ ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟର ଆଲୋକ Let hunger die in knowledge. It's high in my mind. I'm signing from the jungles. I'm not in any bind. I'm liberated in my struggle. Freedom I find. I look at the sun, the most noble of the kind. Thank you. Again, the title I said, The Roadside Boy Looking at the Sun. Jagarana.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Nice, beautiful. Wow. Okay, Amandeep Singh.
Hello. Thank you, Chandu Bhai. Thank you, Bijoji, and everyone for organizing this beautiful poetry morning. And my name is Amandeep Singh, and I'm a Punjabi poet. So my poem is in Punjabi language. But first of all, I'll read English translation. It is also about awakening, and the title of the poem is "When Will We Wake Up?" When will we wake up? The smiling sun on the horizon, slowly sinking into the darkness. The beautiful face of civilization is becoming uncivilized. The spark of a new life is not yet burning. How will we knock at the 10th gate of contemplation? Lifeboat is swaying even before the storm. The soft stanzas of our poems is shattered with the blow of burning harsh words. O traveler, you are drowning into slumber even before you reach your destination. How will you uncover the veil of your destination? Endless storms are coming and everyone is afraid. But smiling, we need to endure those storms on our strong bodies. Today, we have to wake up from a long sleep. Now in Punjabi, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਦੋਂ ਜਾਗਾਂਗੇ? ਖਿਤਜ ਤੇ ਮੁਸਕਾਰਿਆ ਸੂਰਜ, ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਕੁਸਮਸੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਧੱਸਦਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਹਨੇਰੇ ਦੀ ਚੁਨਰੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਭਿਅਤਾ ਦਾ ਗੋਰਾ ਮੁਖ ਅਸਭਿਅਤਾ ਦੇ ਵਹਿਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਗਦਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਨਵੇਂ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੀ ਚਿਣਗ ਅਜੇ ਮੱਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਦਿਆਂਗੇ ਚਿੰਤਨ ਦੇ ਦਸਮ ਦੁਆਰ ਤੇ ਦਸਤਕ? ਜੀਵਨ ਬੇੜੀ ਤੂਫਾਨ ਦੇ ਆਉਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਹਿਚਕੋਲੇ ਖਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋਹਲ ਦੀ ਕਵਿਤਾ ਤਪਦੇ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਹਾਰ ਨਾਲ ਬਿਖਰਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਹੇ ਰਾਹੀ, ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਮੰਜ਼ਲ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਨੀਂਦ ਦੇ ਤਿਲਸਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਸ ਰਿਹਾ। ਫਿਰ ਤੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹਟਾਵੇਂਗਾ ਮੰਜ਼ਲ ਦੀ ਦੇਵੀ ਦੇ ਮੁਖ ਦਾ ਘੁੰਘਟ? ਅਨੰਤ ਤੂਫਾਨ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ, ਪਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਥੂਲ ਮਨ ਵੀ ਘਬਰਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਅਸਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਜ਼ਬੂਤ ਜਿਸਮ ਤੇ ਹੱਸ ਹੱਸ ਕੇ ਤੂਫਾਨ ਸਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸਾਂ ਲੰਬੀ ਨੀਂਦ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਗਣਾ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸਾਂ ਲੰਬੀ ਨੀਂਦ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਗਣਾ ਹੈ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ।
Thank you, Amandeep ji. Neena ji.
Namaskar. Happy Diwali to everybody. My name is Neena Wahi. I am a poetess and a painter. I'm a retired science and language teacher. So my poem is title is Jagran, and I have written in Hindi. So I'll give a brief summary in English. So a mother sings lullaby to put her baby to sleep, but at the same time, with the same love, she wakes him up also. The same way, we have to wake up when we see that there is a lot of farmers are committing suicide. There is a lot of things happening around us. Like in democracy, we elect the people, they are public servants, they need to serve the public, but they serve the public? That's the time when we have to awaken up and see what's going on around us. So whenever it's a question of our rights, we have to wake up and raise our voices to help ourselves, because nobody is going to help us. We are the only one who will help us. So this is the time when we should wake up and take care of ourselves and the society. So here is the poem. जैसे माँ लोरी गाकर बच्चों को सुलाती है, वैसे ही माँ बच्चों को उसी सुर में जगाती है। निद्रा और जागरण तो जीवन का नियम है। नियम न टूटे जब तक जीवन है। नियम न टूटे जब तक जीवन है। जागे तो हम क्यों जागे? किसान का जीवन नरक से भी बदतर हो जाए तो उसे आत्महत्या नहीं, जागरण की आवश्यकता है। अपने अधिकारों के लिए लड़ने की आवश्यकता है। हमारे नियुक्त किए हुए नौकर जब सारी दूध मलाई खा जाएं, तब हमारे जागरण का समय है। प्रजातंत्र में हमारे द्वारा चुने हुए नेता हमारे नौकर हैं, लेकिन क्या वो हमारी सेवा कर रहे हैं या हमारी मेहनत की कमाई की लूटमार मचा रहे हैं। यही जागरण का वक्त है, यही जागरण का वक्त है। हम ऐसे नेता, ऐसे नौकर क्यों चुने जो हमारी सेवा ना कर सकें। प्रजातंत्र की खोखली चुनाव नीति को बहिष्कार करने का वक्त है, जागरण का वक्त है। क्योंकि जागरण का वक्त है, अपने अधिकारों की रक्षा का वक्त है। नेता अपने परिवार को नैतिकता की शिक्षा नहीं देता, पर उसके गुनाहों को ढकने के लिए हर नीति को तोड़ डालता है। एक गुनाह को ढकने के लिए वो 100 गुनाह करवाता है, क्योंकि वह सत्ताधारी है। वह भूल जाता है कि जनता ने उसे चुना है और जनता ने अपनी सेवा के लिए उसे चुना है, ना कि उसकी हत्या करने के लिए चुना है। ऐसे भ्रष्टाचारी नेता जब सिर उठाने लगे, तब जागरण का वक्त है, सोने का नहीं। सच की आवाज उठाने वालों को बलपूर्वक सत्ताधारियों की लाठियां पड़ने लगे, तब जागरण का वक्त है। सच को कुछ वक्त तक ग्रहण लग सकता है, सच को कुछ वक्त तक ग्रहण लग सकता है, लेकिन उसे कुचलना संभव नहीं। ये हमें याद रखना है। ये सत्य की दुर्दशा जब होने लगे, जब सत्य की दुर्दशा होने लगे, तब जागरण का वक्त है। नेता आते हैं, चले जाते हैं, कुछ झाड़ू उठाते हैं, कुछ झाड़ू उठाते हैं। हमें याद है झाड़ू की सरकार आई थी। कुछ झाड़ू उठाते हैं, कुछ कमर पर आसन जमाते हैं, कुछ कमर पर आसन जमाते हैं। अपना भला तो हर व्यक्ति को स्वयं ही करना होगा, क्योंकि अपने अधिकारों का हनन हो तो यही सच्चा जागरण है, यही जागरण का वक्त है। धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया।
Very nice, very nice. So next we have Arundhati ji Sarkel. Arundhati ji, ready?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Arundhati Sarkel. That's my nickname because my loved one and friends love that name. But I have another name, Surya, but somehow Arundhati became popular. So the name of the poem is Waking. It started at home when I was 5 years old. We belong to Brahmin family, and I'm always called untouchable in that era. She said to them, "Don't worry about me. We are all humans." She was the only educated woman in our small neighborhood, but always told all housewives how pretty they are. Their cooking, sewing, and singing is awesome. She is not talented like them, and she always hired untouchables for small job at home and make us teach their kids so they can improve their life. We always ask, "Where did you learn those things?" She said, "I learned from Tagore and my older sister, who broke all barriers and went to England for further studies by ship long, long time ago." And she always recite that poem, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free and where the world has not been broken up into the fragments. So we grew up like this. And the another awakening right now I feel looks like Biden wins when he showed Dr. and Mr. President's lips here. Kamala Harris wins when her husband took 6-month leave of absence and campaigned for her. And the new logo is "I am speaking." Looks like 2020 is a year of women. Finally, they demand their experience and education. The cottage, the new congresswomen, shows courage and tell media, "Mother taught me sure, no man abuse you." It's really amazing to me. But still, so many women, they are voiceless and they're trying. But as a poet, I have a voice. So I'm thanking God for that. Thank you.
Okay. Let's say who's going next? Dr. Panda?
Yes, thank you, Chanduji. Sadar Pranam to everyone. I am Sunanda Mishra Panda from Toronto. So I'm really grateful and thankful to Vijay Mishra ji and Chandu ji who has organized this program. It's really wonderful and excellent. And actually, I have written this poem in the eve of Deepavali. This poem is dedicated to Mother Goddess, to whom we prayed on Deepavali, and hope she would bless us and bring light to our darkness of Corona, and which is really we are suffering for that. So my this poem is written in Odia, and the title of the poem is Deepang Jyoti Parang Brahma. दीपं ज्योति परं ब्रह्म जागी उठ करोनारे निष्पीडित जागी उठ करोनारे निष्पीडित सुप्त আজি এ ধরা উদাস এ আকাশ তুহা তুহা ধ্বনি খেলি যায় আজি মাটিরু আকাশ যায় নিঃশব্দ কিয়া এ দুনিয়া শুনি মৃত্যুর କରାଳ নিঃশব্দ কিয়া এ দুনিয়া শুনি মৃত্যুর କରାଳ तथापि कि शुभुनि से स्वर जगत माता को तथापि कि शुभुनि से स्वर जगत माता को तुम्हें कौन सते एते निष्ठुर न जाने मो स्तुति न जाने मो भक्ति न जाने मो पूजा करी न जाने मो स्तुति न जाने मो भक्ति न जाने मो पूजा करी हृदयर भाव बंदी मो আজি खोजे तो करुणामयी କିନ୍ତୁ ଖୋଲି ମୋ ମନ ଦ୍ୱାର ଆତୁରେ ରହିଛି ଚାହିଁ କିନ୍ତୁ ଖୋଲି ମୋ ମନ ଦ୍ୱାର ଆତୁରେ ରହିଛି ଚାହିଁ ଦୀପାବଳିର ଏ ଶୁଭ ବେଳାରେ ନୂଆ ଆଲୋକ ନେଇ ଅମା ଅନ୍ଧାର ଉଭେଇ ଯିବ ଜାଗିବ ନୂଆ ଜ୍ୟୋତି ଅମା ଅନ୍ଧାର ଉଭେଇ ଯିବ ଜାଗିବ ନୂଆ ଜ୍ୟୋତି ହଜିଯିବ ମୋ ଅଶାନ୍ତି ଯେତେ ଜି ଉଠିବ ମଧୁର ସ୍ୱର ଜ୍ଞାନ ଭକ୍ତି ସବୁ ସମ୍ବଳ ହେବ ନିଶବ୍ଦ ବଂଶୀର ଧ୍ୱନି ବାଜିବ ପ୍ରଜ୍ୱଳିତ ଉତ୍ସ ଆଲୋକର ଉତ୍ସ ପ୍ରଜ୍ୱଳିତ କରି ମାତୃଶକ୍ତିର ମଶାଲ ଧରି ଗାଇ ଉଠିବି ମୁଁ दीपं ज्योति परं ब्रह्म दीपं ज्योति जनार्दन दीपं ज्योति हरते पापं संध्या धूपं नमस्तुते. Thank you everyone.
Thank you. Okay, who's next? Let's see. Actually, I'll go because Dr. Pandaji, you mentioned about Corona, but here it is without mentioning Corona of what this current situation had made us all humans. So the title of the poem is in Gujarati, Ek Virtual Kavita. Ek Virtual Kavita. The thought was when one of my friend from Mumbai, he said that now that there are less people on the streets, we see more birds coming on the wires and in our balconies. So the nature has become real where we have become virtual. So that's the theme of the poem. So एक virtual kavita, and I'll explain in between. एक virtual kavita, लो વાંચો હવે, લો વાંચો હવે એક વર્ચ્યુઅલ કવિતા. છાપાઓ, મેગેઝિનો, ફરફરિયા, પત્રિકાઓ બધા વર્ચ્યુઅલ થઈ ગયા. છાપાઓ, મેગેઝીનો, ફરફરિયા, પત્રિકાઓ બધા વર્ચ્યુઅલ થઈ ગયા. મનુષ્યો પણ, હ્યુમન બીંગ્સ ટુ. રિયલ બહુ રમ્યા. રિયલ બહુ રમ્યા. સરરિયલ પણ. આ જીવને બહુ રમાડ્યો, ચકડોળે બેફામ ચગાવ્યો, જ્યાં ત્યાં ભડકે બાળ્યો, તફડાવ્યો, ફડફડાવ્યો, ઠઠડાવ્યો. અને મોક્ષ પામવા સુધીના બધા વિકલ્પો એક પછી એક લાઈન બંધ હાજરા હજુર હતા છતાં. So we had all the options in front of us, all the way to attain the moksha, but still we didn't do this. We just played with ourselves. છતાં આ જીવડાને સાક્ષાત કરાવવા કરતા જીવની રમત વાલી થઈ. We just played the game of being people, being humans. અને હવે એક ઝાટકે બધા રિયલ થઈ ગયા. What became real now? અને હવે એક ઝાટકે બધા રિયલ થઈ ગયા કે વીજળીના તાર પર ઝૂલતા પંખીઓ અને કેમિકલ છાંટી કીડિયારાઓ પૂરતા એવી કીડીને પણ કણ ને વાઇલ્ડ લાઈફ સફારીના વાઇલ્ડપણાથી રંજાડ્યા એ હાથીને પણ મણ અને એ બે વચ્ચેના સૌ ભૂચરોને પણ. All the animals, all the living beings, they have become real now. So જંગલ કાપી farm house બનાવ્યા. What did we do? We cut the jungles and made farmhouse right in the middle of the jungles. કુવા, ઝરણા, તળાવ, નદીના પાણીની બોટલ બિસ્લેરીઓ ભરી ભરીને વેચ્યા. All the flowing water, we put it in the bottles and sold it. The સૂર્યોદય, સૂર્યાસ્તના પડીકા ભેર વેચ્યા. We made the boxes and branding the sunlight, sunsets and sunrise. We made the boxes and branded sunset and sunrise. The market yards ખોલ્યા બીજા planets પર. We opened the market yard on other planets. પીગળતા ગ્લેશિયર્સના ટુકડા, ગ્લેશિયર્સ, melting glaciers, પીગળતા ગ્લેશિયર્સના ટુકડા બરફ તરીકે એક પેગ વિસ્કીમાં નાખ્યા. What we did with climate change and melting glaciers, all we did, took it and put it in our whiskies, enjoyed. So virtual thou ke thou invisible. So now, whether you become virtual or even become invisible, આ પ્રકૃતિનું વરદાન ક્યારેય નહીં ભૂસાય. You will never be able to unchange what you have damaged. હવે virtual છો તો virtual રહ્યો. So now that you are virtual, just stay virtual. Now that you are virtual, just stay virtual and વાંચો ફરી and then read this virtual poem. That's it.
I think I have some similarity with Chanduji.
Okay, go.
Very good, Chanduji, very good.
Very good, yeah.
Thank you, Chanduji. I liked it.
Yeah. You want me to go? Like mine is also regarding Corona, or someone is going.
Yeah.
Fine.
And then
I think
follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I?
Yeah, Karim sir, go.
Okay, thank you. The name of the poem is Rashnar Jagoron. Rashna is a name of a wild orchid flower. And the poem is mostly on the climate change and the effect. Before I get into the poem, I should introduce. My name is Mir Fazlul Karim. I'm a geologist, and you will get the essence of my profession in my poetry. And I am recently retired and jobless. Thank you. Rashnar Jagoron. প্রকৃতি আপন ছন্দে সবই বদলায়. It is in Bengali. প্রকৃতি আপন ছন্দে সবই বদলায়, দিন বদলায়, মাস বদলায়, বছর বদলায়, বদলায় যুগ আর বদলায় মহাকাল, আমি বদলাই, সে বদলায়, সবাই বদলায়. আর নদী বদলায় তার জল, আকাশের মেঘ বদলায়, আর ধরিত্রী বদলায় তার পাথরের রং। ফুল বদলায়, মন বদলায়, আর বদলায় পাতা ঝরা গাছের রং। হে সময়, তুমি যে বদলাও আপন গতিতে, নেই তাতে কোনো দ্বিধা দুঃখ মোর। প্রকৃতি আপন ছন্দে সবই বদলায়, হ্যাঁ সময়, অতিক্রান্ত তুমি আমার হৃদয় পর্বে পর্বে করো ছন্দময়। প্রবাহিত বাতাস সুরে সুরে দেয় আনন্দের স্পন্দন। তোমার সাথে বাতাসেরাও যে বদলায় মতিগতি, ও তো বদলাবেই, তাই তো তার নিয়ম। আমিও তাই বলি, কিন্তু সময়, আমি জানি তুমি জানো না, আমরা মানুষ করেছি এ প্রকৃতির মহাবিভাজন। না, এটা কোনো গল্প নয় সময়, এটা সত্য। বদলে ফেলেছি আমরা তোমার ছন্দ আর প্রবাহ, ভেদ করেছি ওজন স্তর অজানা প্রয়োজনে, তাই বেড়েই চলেছে হিমবাহ। এখন মরুভূমিতে প্রবল শক্তিতে প্লাবন আসে, সেখানে শহরের মানুষ বন্যার ঘূর্ণিতে চিৎকার করে, ঘর বাড়ি বসতি ভেসে যায় সমুদ্রের ডাকে। শুনেছি হিমালয়ে বেড়েছে মেলা ভূমিধস আর জলধারা। ভেসে গেল মেলা মানুষের প্রাণ, স্বপ্ন, অভিলাষ। পৃথিবী জুড়ে মেলা নিচু সমতল ভূমি, সমুদ্র পৃষ্ঠ সকলেরই করে যেন ছুঁই ছুঁই। যেন শুধু কইছে বারবার, আরেকটা যুগ অপেক্ষা করো, এক হয়ে যাব আমি আর তোমার সরোবর। সরোবর ইজ লেক। মেলা পেঙ্গুইন, শিল আর শ্বেত ভালুক আর কত পাখিরা আর্কটিক আর আন্টার্কটিকায় করেছে হাহাকার। আমি দেখেছি তাদের একাকিত্বের ক্রন্দন আর অভিমান। শুনেছি তারা কহিছে বারবার, হে মানুষ, কি দোষে আমাদের করিলে বিরান। মেলা জলাভূমি শুকিয়ে চৌচির, ফাটলে ফাটলে হয়েছে খান খান। দেখি আমি একদিন শুকনো কাদার ফাটলে উকি দিয়ে কয়, ছোট্ট রাসনা অর্কিড ফুল, ওরে মানুষ, ভুলো না আমারে, তোমাদের সাথেই ছিল আমার বাস। দুই বিন্দু নোনা অশ্রু যে আমারও ঝরে। So thank you. This is Bengali. So I should really read the English translation. It needs to be edited further, but I hope that you'll forgive me for any wrong translation. Thank you. A wild orchid's awakening message. Nature changes everything in its rhythm, its own rhythm. Days change, months change, years get changed. Epoch returns and more eras to come and pass. I change, he changes, and everyone gets changed. And the river changes its water and flow. The clouds in the sky change and fly in different direction. And the earth alters the color of its stones and soils. Flower changes color to change the minds. And instead, the color of the deciduous trees radiant. O time, that you change at your own pace. There is no hesitation or huffs in me. Nature changes everything in its own rhythm. Yes, time, you have passed through my heart in stages, very rhythmically. The flowing wind gives a melody of joy, the speed of wind that changes with you and rules the barriers of the human being. I say so too, but time, I know that you do not know we are human. We are human being, did an illustrious misuse of nature that we do not see. No, it's not even a fiction. It is a truth of time. We have changed the rhythm and flow. We have pierced the ozone layer for an unknown purpose. So the glaciers are melting. Now there is great flood in the deserts too. There the people of the cities cry, and the wheels of in the wheels of flood. Houses and settlements are being washed away to the sea. I have heard that landslides and floods have increased in the Himalayas and global mountains. The lives, dreams, desires of poor people are washed away. Low plain land fairly all over the world. The sea level seems to inundate all over the world, as if just saying over and over, it will not be long. Ocean and lakes will be merging together. Emperor penguins, seals, and white bears and the birds howling in the Arctic and Antarctic. I saw their cries of loneliness and huffs. I heard them again and again. Oh people, what's wrong with you? You crumbled and dried up the fair wetlands. Cracks have shattered the ground. I see dry muds got deep cracks. And few wild little orchids wander to me. Oh human being, please do not forget me. I lived with you too in this beautiful earth together. I have also few drops of salty tears to share with you. Thank you.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Wow. Okay, we have 5 more poets. Who's going next?
Shall I?
Gitaji, sir, Gitaji.
Okay.
Gitaji, go.
Gitaji, unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. My poem fits here. Like it is also about Corona and what like how people are exploiting the earth and the whole cosmos. So my poem is about this millennium's awakening. In the vast area of cosmos, on the enormous surface of the earth, and in the massive expanse of beneath the surface of the ground, without any mercy, polluting air, without any compassion, cutting trees, without any kindness, killing animals, without any consideration, drilling the earth. Man's heart is swelling with wild wonders. Mind staying away from the ancient feelings, dazzling eyes remaining open at night. Body is just eating and chewing without limits, carelessly drinking and dancing all the time. No breath of gratitude towards the Creator. Each new day beginning with just greediness. Every moment is filling with injustice. Honesty and trust are disappearing slowly, like the sea water is evaporating in the summer. The entire population is murmuring about the future, and the whole universe is living in the dream world. For awakening this hard mankind, a tiny pulsing corona appeared, and the fear of unknown has arrived. Coronavirus is everywhere. Everyone's life is in danger. Virus is taking their loved ones away. There is a worry of what happens tomorrow to you and me and everyone. Their phony happiness is going away like never before for sure. Life is different than earlier. We are living in a scary world today and practicing social distancing every day, struggling hard to keep the virus at bay. Everyone is asking every moment, when will this virus ever go away? Without realizing the key truth, we reap what we sow. Hope, sooner rather than late, there will be a right awakening and the realization of the truth. Thank you, everyone. And at the same time, I want to make a request to every one of you to send me a brief summary of your poem with title, just like, 3 to 4 sentences. So that would be highly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Sure. Yes. Okay, who's next?
Shall I go?
Yes, go, Premji.
Okay, so my name is Prem Nagar, and I just wrote a poem yesterday, and the title is, in Hindi, of course, "Kab khushiyon ke lehrenge tar." Kab khushiyon ke lehrenge tar, and this is on the current situation in America. We live in the world where democratic values and human decencies are challenged. When normalcy, mutual human respect will restore is the question we all are asking. Our awakening probably could configure or reconfigure us, and that could help us regain what we have lost in the past few years. So I'll start the poem, and I'll also give the idea in the poem in English. Chal kapat ka maya jal. छल कपट का माया जाल, नियमों अनियमों का ये विकार. Undercurrent of fake and alternate truth and hijacked rules of the game is breaking the very fabric of our social existence. The next stanza, अहंकार और अकड़ की चाल. अहंकार और अकड़ की चाल, छल कपट की हुई है हार. The conceited swindler's inflated ego seems to be self-busted. I mean, that's the idea in the stanza. Gyan bhan vivek behal. Gyan bhan vivek behal, samajh bodh se hui takrar. Gyan bhan vivek behal, samajh bodh se hui takrar. The common wisdom and consciousness seems to be failing us to discern our own infighting inner demons. लोकतंत्र का परख लाचार, लोकतंत्र की परख लाचार, भाव विभाव से करो विचार. The country's liberal foundations are helplessly tranced and awaiting analysis by synthesis that could restore its dignity. देश विदेश में सोया इतिहास, देश विदेश में सोया इतिहास, दुराचार से रोया अधिकार. History of the world is paused and enduring the uncanny experience of abrogated rights. जागो जागो निष्क्रियता से जागो, जागो जागो निष्क्रियता से जागो, चिंतन मनन जागृति से उपचार. We are to wake up and rise above our inertness and contemplate and meditate the right, what is right. नीति अनीति का विश्लेषण, नीति अनीति का विश्लेषण, भल मानस के समुचित अधिकार. नीति अनीति का विश्लेषण, भल मानस के समुचित अधिकार. Analyze what is right and what is not and fight for the righteousness of the general good. जगमग जागरण जब होगा साकार, जगमग जागरण जब होगा साकार, तब खुशियों के लहरेंगे तार. जगमग जागरण जब होगा साकार, तब खुशियों के लहरेंगे तार. कब खुशियों के लहरेंगे तार? Now that's the question. Our awakening shall permeate and illuminate the world, and normal happiness shall restore. But the question is, when? Thank you.
Very nice, very nice.
Very good, very good.
Premji, very
We
good.
have two more. I think it's great time. So we have two last ones, Bashanji, and I think then finally it will conclude with
Jaspalji.
Jaspal.
And
I think that's all we have as I see.
is Jugal Kishorji here?
No, he didn't show up.
Oh, okay.
He didn't show up. So that's okay. That's okay. So I just want to thank you all for joining, doing this beautiful. I think it came out all right. It came, I mean, we said different feelings, different thoughts, and so on. So the question is, we are more prayerful. Looks like we are more, let things come. but I thought we'll be more activists, like this is what we do, but that's okay. So next time we'll meet in February, called The Voice of the Mothers and the Youth. And with that, I thank you and let Basanji and Jashpal end the event. Happy Diwali again to all.
Happy Diwali. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijayji. Thank you. Thank you.
Vasanji, sir, unmute yourself.
Yeah. So I start my poem with a background that there has been awakening. All right. But simultaneously, we find that world is going in different order. My name is Vasant Ganesh Machwe, and I have been teaching physics. I am actually a physicist. But due to my inherent family background, my uncle was a very good literary figure. I have tried to come in literary side and make some poems. I will be, at the end of my poem, I will be giving my email, this blog address. Those who want to read more, I will give it to you. Because in earlier, about 20 days back, I had written a poem for this event, and the title of poem was Jagran Sah Chetna. I don't want to recite it because it is a longer one and time is very short. I will be reciting my poem on Jagran. And for that, there are only 3 paras. The first para tells about what we have done so far. We miss whole of the community or whole of the miss population what we did so far from the old time when we lived in caves. The second para is what should be actually done. And the third para is we can all combine and bring awakening to whole of the world. Before I say, I'm very proud to tell you that during my teaching, I had an opportunity to teach one of the Nobel laureates. The name of the Nobel laureate is Kailash Satyarthi. He was my student in 1972. He was actually an electrical engineer, but he turned to another direction, and now he is very famous for improving child labor. So with that, I start my poem, and my poem title is Jagran. It is in Hindi, and it starts like that. कागज स्याही कम पड़ जाएगी, कागज स्याही कम पड़ जाएगी जब गाथा जागरण की गाई जाएगी. The first para starts, मिट्टी से मानव के पुतले बनाए. What did we do? Many museums we see very old and new statues. So मिट्टी से मानव के पुतले बनाए, तूली रंगों से उभारे चित्रालय. There are so many places where we find a lot very good paintings. If you go to Europe, I visited Europe, and I found all the museums, they got 20 feet, 10 feet, and such long paintings. And all of us know a very famous painting that did not actually impress me, Mona Lisa. I saw it. But in comparison to that, there are so many paintings which had all expressions given. So, तूली रंगों से उभारे चित्रालय, छेनी से काट काट कर उत्तुंग देवालय. We find in India there are thousands of temples which are actually still existing, and there is a temple near Aurangabad which is such a beautiful temple that whole of the mountain was cut, and from top to bottom the temple is erected. Nothing binding material. So छेनी से काट कर उत्तुंग देवालय, गुफा और छोड़ गगन चुंबी आश्रालय. We are living in caves. Now we are living in very high rise buildings. So पहचान जागरण की समझ आ जाएगी. What we have done a lot. Whole of the humanity has done a lot, and we are at this stage that we can be proud of it.
So this was all first para. Second para now, पर फिर भी है जरूरत जगाने की, पर फिर भी है जरूरत जगाने की, रंग भेद जात पात तेरा मेरा मिटाने की. What is necessary? रंग भेद जात पात मेरा तेरा मिटाने की. बम बंदूकों को बम बंदूकों को सागर के हवाले करने की, धर्मांधता आतंक की ज्वाला बुझाने की, सब तरफ शांति सौहार्द बंधुत्व फैलाने की. This is the necessity. What we want to do, we should actually be very much after it. The third para is, तो आओ सब मिलकर जोत जगाए, तो आओ सब मिलकर जोत जगाए, सब ऊपर वाले के बंदे भेद मिटाए. All of us have the same blood. We are not to distinguish each another. We are all same. सब ऊपर वाले के बंदे हैं, भेद मिटाए. हम सबके सब हमारे, हम सबके सब हमारे रिश्ते जगाए. सुख को परिभाषित कर हम तभी जागरण पाए. These are the three paras, and in last I want to recite two lines of a great poetess in India. She is now no more, Amrita Pritam. Look here what she says. Dekhkar, how, where the awakening will come, how it will be imprinted in us. देखकर दर्द किसी और का, देखकर दर्द किसी और का, जो आह दिल से निकल जाती है. देखकर दर्द किसी और का, जो आह दिल से निकल जाती है. बस इतनी छोटी सी बात ही तो है, बस इतनी छोटी सी बात ये है जो आदमी को इंसान बना देती है. So the journey is from actually to good human being. Thank you very much. Thanks to Vijayji, thanks to all of us. Thank you.
Very nice, Vasant sir. Very nice.
I have a small announcement to make. December 19th, this is November, December 19th, our own Prem will give a seminar on what we are doing today. I have been insisting that people connect. The question is, what is speech? How do thoughts come? Thoughts are not arbitrary. Thoughts of inception, thoughts of evolution, and thought makes speech. So to understand what thought is and what speech is, so he will analyze the literature in the West, clinical literature, philosophical literature, and the linguistic literature to see the theories of speech. December 19th, morning 9:30. So please do join if you want to get more into this thematic aspect of intonation and the thought process. And also I would request that some of us, we are doing on the Facebook something called evolution of Indian culture. That is why we are what we are. I think some of you looked anxious. Some of you were patient. Some of you listen to each other. Some of you want to say. So what of that is the culture? Are we more hearing type? Are we more speaking type? Are we more thinking type? Are we more analytic type? So basically, who are those people who created Indian music, dance, sculpture, architecture, food, cuisine, dress? So that's a study of evolution of Indian culture. We will be finishing the early period, the 6 tracks we have. Next week, we'll finish early period. We have 7 periods. We'll gradually move on. So if you have children or you know children, students, do share this thing. We need feedback. Say that we agree, disagree. If you like, say we like. But we try to work hard to deliver as much material as we think in as small packets as we can do for general audience and hopefully for educational purpose. So that's my request. And here my friend Jashpal, who is a part of this whole process. So let Jashpal sing, and then we will meet again in February.
Okay.
Jashpal sing. Okay.
Okay. I'm Jashpal. I was trained to be a philosopher, but I had to become a banker by necessity. I'm retired. So thank you very much, Gurudev, Chandu, Amandeep, everybody, the whole team, Premji, for putting this together. It's been a long journey, but very, very enlightening and pleasurable. So I wrote this poem, actually a song. It's and sing it in Bhairavi. Bhairavi, as you know, is a morning rag and awakening sort of a. So it's about what is happening to farmers in India, but also worldwide. So new laws have come recently, and they are described as death warrants for farmers. And it very, very severely hurts, especially farmers in Punjab, because 99% of people in Punjab are actually farmers. So the poem is Jago in Bhairavi. It appeals to the history of Punjabis, but it is the struggle of farmers in India as well as in the world. As you know, farmers are committing suicide in Kansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, here as well, of the same policies. So it's जाग पंजाबिया छेड़ला हुण तां मुक्ति दा कोल अखां खोल कान तेरे दियां बणियां स्कीमां मुक्ति दा कोल अखां खोल देश पंजाब ते पीड़ पई है लोटू दिल्ली फौज चढ़ी है अन्न पानी सब साडा लुट के पौण साडी खून तुरी है पौण साडी खून तुरी है भगत सिंह दे बोल हुण सुन के भगत सिंह दे बोल हुण सुन के मुक्ति दा कोल अखां खोल मुक्ति दा कोल अखां खोल कणक कपा जो असी है उगाउंदे सानू तानी वारा खांदे महंगा खाद ते डीजल लेके कौडियां दे पा फसलां बिकेंदे कौडियां दे पा फसलां बिकेंदे बिगड़े हिसाब नू ठीक करन लई बिगड़े हिसाब नू ठीक करन लई मुक्ति दा कोल अखां खोल the crops we grow cotton and wheat they are not we don't get the price for it they sell us expensive fertilizers and diesel and they buy our produce for pennies. So balance this account, awaken and open your eyes. तेरी बोली ते होंद ते हमले नित ही दिल तो लोटू कर दे करज़ियां हेठ तेनू दब के तेरी तां हुण संगी दबदे तेरी तां हुण संगी दबदे कौल दुल्ला पट्टी दा पुकारे कौल दुल्ला पट्टी दे वंगारण मुक्ति दे कोल अखां खोल your basic being, fundamental being is under attack. You are burdened under the mountain of debt, and now they want to strangle you by taking your land. So rise up to the call of Dullah Patti, the great warrior of Punjab, who led farmers against Akbar. So that Dullah Patti's calls, hearken to them and open your eyes. ਟੁੱਕੜ ਬੋਚ ਲੀਡਰ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਵੇਚਦੇ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਸੌਦੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੱਜੇ ਖੱਬੇ ਝੰਡੇ ਚੁੱਕ ਕੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਫਿਰਨੇ ਝਾਂਸੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਫਿਰਨੇ ਝਾਂਸੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸਭ ਇਸ ਸਕੀਮ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਉੱਠ ਲੈ ਸਭ ਇਸ ਸਕੀਮ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਉੱਠ ਲੈ ਮੁਕਤੀ ਦਾ ਕੋਲ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਖੋਲ sold out leaders are selling you out to the robbers from Delhi by waving left, red, green, white flags and deceiving you. So understand all these schemes, rise up and wake up. ਜਾਗ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆ ਛੇੜ ਲੈ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਮੁਕਤੀ ਦਾ ਕੋਲ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਖੋਲ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਣੀਆਂ ਸਕੀਮਾਂ ਮੁਕਤੀ ਦਾ ਕੋਲ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਖੋਲ ਮੁਕਤੀ ਦਾ ਕੋਲ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਖੋਲ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ
Very good, Yashpal ji.
Very good. While I thank you one more time, I want to recognize two people. One is my friend Balachandra. Balachandra came to us in 95, has been joining poetry for about 15 or 20 years or so. And but he took the initial effort to prepare our first book that we published a couple of years ago. Chandu published it, but he prepared it. And he has not been doing very well lately. So I will suggest each of you to write to him privately, wish him well. And I think he looks good, and then the other person I saw was Professor this Bimal Bhai Jain. Bimal Bhai Jain is in late age, and he is a connoisseur of languages, scholar of old languages, Pali, Prakrit, and Hindi, and then retired, but also he's not doing so well lately. But I see him, it is a kind of blessing that he joined us. In our Indian thinking, we don't do things. Things happen because of others' blessing. And those blessings are there. They're in the heavens, they're in the trees, they're in the air, and they're in the people. So we have 3 octogenarians with us. Basant Machwe, Bimal Bhai Jain, and Professor Balachandra. So also wish them well, give them your greetings. And then, unless they want to say something, the Bimal Bhai, want to say something? Bala, you want to say something? Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
Now,
Good.
Bimal sir, unmute yourself.
Does he want to say something?
Yeah, he's saying something.
Oh,
Unmute yourself, sir. Bimal, sir. No.
unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself. We cannot hear you. Unmute, please.
He doesn't know. Oh,
Unmute. Press that. No, press.
that's a microphone sign that you have to.
Yeah, press that red microphone sign
On the bottom of the screen.
You see a red microphone at the bottom left? Just click on that. Let's see if I can unmute all.
That's okay. I will send you the mail and then you can all greet him. I think I did not alert him before. I just noticed him. All right. Thank you. Happy Diwali. We'll meet. Okay. So the Kartika. See, I was writing, I'm Odia. So Kartika is a big festival in Odisha. That's because people were militaristic, valorous. And then Kartika helps you move. So they were traveling to faraway lands, to those Indonesians and so on. So Kartika was the navigator. So today starts the month of Kartika, which is a kind of an invisible force, but that powers you. So
Finally, he's unmuted
okay,
now, Bimal
okay.
sir. Bimal sir, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I can't find. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Speak.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again.
Okay.
I enjoyed the session very much. And I shall join the 19th December session also.
Good.
I shall join.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, we'll leave now.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Chandu, and thank you, Prem, and thank you all people who supported. Geeta ji for the report you will make, and then other people who joined. Thank you, Manu, for coming for the first time and doing some beautiful rendering of your poem, and continue to join. We are a small group, but we love each other and we respect each other and try to hear more. We try to hear more. The words are not your words. Words are going for public. So thank you. Bye now.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you
everyone.
all.
Thank you,
Happy Diwali.
everyone.
All right.
Thank you to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.